Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. If you want to join me in my live stream, check out the links in the description and in the comments below. I want to talk about some things. I've said for a long time that I don't think Bitcoin is going to reach 20K this year. I'm getting a little bit to change my mind, and it's because of two things. One is obviously Tether, but the other one is Grayscale. Will Grayscale and Tether make Bitcoin great again? Meaning, will they actually push Bitcoin past 20K? Bloomberg actually believes that Bitcoin will actually pass 20K by the end of this year with fundamentals, but really fundamentals to means pumpology. Fundamentals, and they said technicals. I don't really care about all that stuff. I think the pumpology might actually get Bitcoin to be over 20K. It's going to be a combination of Grayscale and Tether. We talked a lot about Tether, how they're printing tens of millions a day, sometimes hundreds of millions a day. And there's a lawsuit right now that's actually targeting Bittrex and Polynex and Bitfinex, saying that Bitfinex is using their printed tether to send to Bittrex and Polynex in order to buy Bitcoin with the tether and pump Bitcoin up. I'm thinking they're probably sending a lot to Binance too to buy Bitcoin as well. But and that's one area of it. Bitfinex is essentially unregulated. They hired their own auditors. Yeah, that's extremely believable. They hired their own third-party auditors and won't let other people's third-party auditors actually audit them. Yeah, sounds fishy, doesn't it? But what about Grayscale? Grayscale's the other player. They're a big Bitcoin fund, and they have a lot in Bitcoin. It has it that they actually bought more Bitcoin than all the Bitcoin that was actually mined in 2019, or in the last part of 2019 and in 2020. That is a huge buying pressure. That means if one plus token actually suddenly sells off the Bitcoin and it drops, you better get in on that drop really, really fast. You know why? Because with such huge pressure from Grayscale, it's going to actually recover in price extremely fast. If they're actually buying more tokens than is actually being mined, that's like one party basically filling all the demand. And there's still everyone else who wants to buy Bitcoin that isn't Grayscale, and that would slowly push the price up. And if they're actually doing that, eventually they're going to dry up the OTC market, and the retail market is definitely going to push up. Now, since Grayscale is actually deeply invested in Bitcoin, this would actually help their fund. So it makes sense for them to buy everything up in OTC that they can, because if they dry up the OTC market, then the only way that anyone else could buy Bitcoin is actually via the exchanges. And when people start buying via the exchanges, it drives the price of Bitcoin up. How long will it take them to do that? I'm not sure. But if they're actually buying up all the mined Bitcoin, that means everything everyone else buys is basically drying up the BTC market, and they could dry it up all by the end of this year. And if they do, towards the end of this year, and if they do actually buy up everything towards the end of this year, the last few months of the year could be astronomical for Bitcoin whenever they hit that point. Now that point could be the end of this year, the end of next year, or in 2022. But if there's one entity buying up all the new Bitcoin that's mined, and remember, we just had a halving, so there's half as many Bitcoin now, so they might actually spike demand even more. If that's the case, Bitcoin will eventually move sooner or later, and if they're actually buying that amount, it'll probably be sooner rather than later. How true this actually is, I'm not 100% sure, but if Grayscale is continually buying more Bitcoin than is actually being mined, then the supply of Bitcoin will actually dwindle, and the demand for Bitcoin will grow huge, and it will actually skyrocket. So having second thoughts about Bitcoin not reaching 20,000 at the end of the year. Right now, I'm still on the side that it'll reach 20,000 next year and not this year, but Grayscale might end up making Bitcoin great again. By great, I mean over 20,000 by the end of the year. So that is my thoughts on this subject. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.